thing to get gamers on.
And in a way, the art style, like Limbo is a game that looks absolutely incredible. Like the art style is amazing, but it's also they thought of what's the way where we just don't really have to draw anything. Just make everything a silhouette. Beautiful, great idea. So really, there's like nothing there at
Where's the
all. But
damn
they
sequel to that game? They kind of left it in a cliffhanger, and
well, he found the girl at the end, right?
Well, it just stopped short of it.
Tedekin, don't have this conversation in front of Derek H. Or get him fired up again.
About what?
Because he had that whole article about retro or indie should not mean pixelated.
I agree. But Limbo is not like that. It's not an 8-bit throwback bullshit game.
Well, it's a game that's just a silhouette, but it's amazing. But you can tell like they got around having to actually do graphics.
But no,
like,
I don't consider that placed toward that article though. That article was talking about shit that looks like Minecraft.
Well, I think in general he just has he has a big issue against games that feel like they're being lazy. You know.
It's just called an indie game, or people that no, this is retro. It's like, well, it only looks retro because you guys didn't have the money and talent to make it not look like shit. So now you say, no, it's retro. This is how games used to look 20 years ago.
Just be honest with us and say, look, we really thought this style was neat for this game. That's why we went with it. Don't tell me the retro tagline and expect me to appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's people that do it because they're pandering, and I think there's people that do it, like you guys said, because they can't afford the graphic designers, because those graphic designers, they'll charge you out the ass for stuff. I've worked with them on some games that I've been a project manager on and lead designer on, and they will do all kinds of really grimy shit. Like, people don't know this stuff, but they'll do things where you'll tell them, okay, we need sprites for this animation, that animation, that animation. We need 20 to 40 frames per animation, whatever you say the spec is, right? And then they'll give you like a rough draft, and then you say, yeah, okay, that's good, but we need this fixed. Oh, okay, you had to pay for each revision.
Well, I mean, it is their time though. I mean, that stuff is not easy to do constantly if people keep changing their mind on it, though.
Well, the thing is, I understand that part, but what they'll do is, like, you'll be very specific about what you want, and they'll purposely, like, miss something just so they have to go back and revise it, and they'll milk their time, stretch their time out. And there's a lot of like really shady stuff that goes on with certain people in that space. So I understand why a lot of indie companies just kind of just do the simple stuff, and they always sometimes they go back and they like spruce it up. They might put some HD texture packs in or some better looking sprites or whatever.
And I get that, because you're trying to, you got to think, an indie game's cost to develop. They're trying to keep it at a low enough level because they're not going to make the massive sales that, big A-list titles are going to make. So, they keep the cost low by doing such things.
Yeah. And in the end, if the gameplay's fun, the gameplay's fun.
Or you could be like Derek and just, have somebody do it for you for free for games like You Will Die.
Oh, I actually got paid for that, but it was like $100.
Oh, that's nice.
But, yeah. Or you could just go the greatest graphics ever, which was Hot Potato. With the screen was just solid color that changed from pink to green to blue.
I wonder how much Derek made on You Will Die. I'm just curious how many people just clicked on it and bought it.
He said I made more off You Will Die than he did, and I made $100.
Well, how much does Microsoft charge? I mean, how much you spend $1? How much does Microsoft get?
That's the thing. It's like if they take 66 cents at every dollar you make, Derek's got to sell 300 copies of that to make $100.
Yeah.
I doubt he sold 300 copies of You Will Die.
Huh. Well, now with the Unreal Engine and the new Unity engine that's coming out, they're doing similar things where either they take royalties off the top, or you have a subscription model, and I think that's all right.
That's why they're not making console indie games. I mean, I think on iPhone, if you make an app on there, you get to keep the majority of how much that thing makes. If I'm not mistaken.
Hot potato.
I think one of the recent Xbox articles for they're going to be releasing the dev part of the console here soon too. for people to start
Yeah.
developing off of it.
That Project Spark.
And they were like really actually let you use like your Xbox will be a development kit where you can make it. And they're gonna like have the Unreal Engine like free to indie developers. So you can, if you know how to use it, you can actually make an Unreal Engine game.
Damn.
Yeah, the SDK. That's what they release. They did that with the 360 too, but the problem with console development is all the licenses you end up paying. You know, that's why a lot of times you'll see stuff come out on a PC and maybe mobile devices. And then once they hit that critical mass, then they port it over or make a whole new game from the ground up based on that property for the console.
Here's something I'm looking for E3 that I hope they announce for Xbox. I hope we get a new update on like the newest State of Decay game. Or whatever Zombie Productions were.
Yeah, I mean, that game had a lot of... It was just very raw. It had a lot of potential, though.
You can tell they got it to a bare minimum of playability and said, let's go with it, and they done well.
And then Microsoft wrapped that company up though, so State of Decay is like exclusive for life. Like they didn't own the company, but I think they bought them.
They basically bought them out.
So they can only make games for Xbox forever now.
Which was smart for them considering what they've done sales wise. It was like the highest downloaded game since Minecraft.
Oh really?
I have it. I never played it. I got it on one of those days where it was like Black Friday days. Like State of Decay is $8 today.
State of Decay was one of those games I didn't want to put a whole lot of time into. That's why I didn't buy it. But I could totally see if you told me,
it'll be a free
wow, that's
game with gold soon, and I'll be like, it's just like Halo Spartan Assault that I paid for. Now it's free. That's going to make me not really want to buy games. And you're like,
yeah.
Even though, then again, you got to think, well, okay, you can pay $10 or $15 now and play it, or wait 6 months.
It's got to be something you really want. If it's something you kind of moderately want, you'll probably want to.
Like I almost bought Max Curse of the Brotherhood back in like December, and now it's free, and I was like, oh boy, it's free now. I was like too excited.
I didn't buy Spartan Assault at the time, so I'm very happy about that.
Exactly.
It's not as bad as they say, but it's not good.
Something different.
I have Street Fighter 4, so Street Fighter Arcade. I have Super Street Fighter 4, so you get Ultra for free. Do you have to have Super Street Fighter 4 to get the Ultra for free, or do you just get the whole game?
You get the whole arcade edition. I think that's what they're giving out.
So that's the entire like Ultra Street Fighter 2 Arcade Edition, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition for free. That's pretty crazy.
I gotta pick that up.
Zombie Labs, their big production they were wanting to go into after State of Decay was a State of Decay MMO. So if they got that for Xbox, and it's actually good, just like the other one with less bugs, they might have something.
I can't believe there's no Ultra Street Fighter 4 or whatever, since that's still a big fighting game. That's what I'm surprised they are not putting on next-gen consoles.
I heard something there that NetherRealm Studios is coming out with both Mortal Kombat and Justice League. Did we talk about that last week?
Yeah. But I want Mortal Kombat. It's been 3 years since Mortal Kombat. It's been 1 year since Injustice. I'm like, make more. Maybe Injustice probably sold more. But make Mortal Kombat the priority.
I think spacing it out would be far better. Yeah, just get Mortal Kombat done and
just have one every other year.
Yeah, but they said the article I read about that said the amount of money NetherRealm made off of that the guy said something like the 3 best-selling fighting games of the past generation was Street Fighter 4, Mortal Kombat 9, and Injustice, and 2 of them were made by NetherRealm. So it says they made so much money off those 2 games they probably have multiple teams now. Yeah. Basically, the amount of money they made off those 2 games.
Well, when they redone Mortal Kombat, they breathed fresh air into the series.
It was very good.
Amazing. Okay, 9 was incredible.
That game was phenomenal until the last battle, because the only way you can really beat that is by just being cheesy as hell. I don't care what anyone says. There's no freaking skill involved.
That's been that way for years, though. I mean, they always make the final boss battle in fighting games to be the most ridiculous thing. They're always
tell them about Shadow Jago and Killer Instinct Sub-Z.
Other than Shadow Jago, which I think what happened was they made the AI so damn good on Shadow Jago that he adjusts to everything you do pretty much. So when you kick at him, he blocks. every single time. So yeah, people do like that low kick or something. If you do any damage on him, you can run the clock out. By doing like
You know
that
that Shadow Jago and Killer Instinct, the boss in that, is the hardest fighting game boss I've ever fought. Like anybody will tell you that is. Even Maximilian, who is the big fighting game expert, he's like, it is the hardest boss in the history of fighting games. But everybody, including myself, figured out you have to beat him because you unlock like a secret stage you get to play. And if you beat him, everybody figured out you can beat him by cheesing it. If you just start sweeping at him, he'll just get down and block, and you can run the clock out and win. Just by going duh, 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 and I've even made a video showing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they made the hardest boss ever with the biggest, crappiest exploit where you can just cheese your way to victory. But they made him so hard, you kind of don't have a choice. It's like the only way you can beat him.
Yeah. Well, the way I beat Shao Kahn he was the last boss in.
Yeah.
So the only way I was able to beat him was by like doing a combination of jump kick, sweep, rinse and repeat.
Basically the same thing you did in Mortal Kombat 1 back in the day on Goro.
Against Goro, yep. That's the only way you could beat him.
Sub-Zero, you jump kick, slide, ice when it's getting back up, and it freeze him in the get up animation.
Oh yeah, and then you uppercut him.
Yeah, Sub-Zero was like the go-to guy for being Goro.
Yeah. Because you could catch him, freeze him when he's doing that stupid thing where he tries to jump off the screen and then jump on top of you.
He flips up, you catch him, he's in midair, like flipping to his feet.
Yeah. Ah, good times.
Good old days of crappy made games.
Well, now they still do the same thing, but it just looks prettier.
Yeah, there you go. As evidence with Shadow Jago.
And they made Goro a big pussy in Mortal Kombat 9, where like
yeah, they did.
They're supposed to be like these unstoppable killing machines, and then when you get to the Mortal Kombat 2 area, like Goro and Kentaro show up together, and you're playing as like Smoke, and you beat the crap out of both of them. It's like, wait a minute. Like these guys went from these like badass like bosses to like, oh, just Smoke is kicking the shit out of them at the same time.
Dude, that was the best part of like playing. Was it Mortal Kombat 2? No, it's 3. When you're playing Mortal Kombat 3, and then there were all these like hidden guys that you play against. They're like, oh, they're ninjas. I mean, robots. That's awesome.
Like Noob Saibot and Robo Smoke, Robot Smoke.
Yeah.
That's another example of a lazy developer saying, change the colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, palette swap.
They didn't even change the friggin' moves. They just change it gray, and it just has Scorpion's harpoon. No, it's a whole new character. It's Smoke.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yep.
You know how much money they made off of jokes? How many characters? There are 3 characters in Mortal Kombat that were just made up by accident. Ermac and Rain.
Yeah.
Rain is a joke. Rain is people don't get the Rain joke. But Rain was just meant to be like almost like trolling.
What was it, Chameleon and Exploit?
Oh, Chameleon, yeah. But Ermac was literally like the system glitched, and when Reptile jumped down in the first game, it changed its palette to red, and it said Error Macro, but it abbreviated it Ermac. Yeah. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's a red ninja named Ermac!" And so Ed Boon and them were like, "We could make that into a character to make $1 million off of that."
Wasn't Scarlet a glitch?
Yeah, she was a glitch. The fans made her the same thing. Like in the second game, a Jade jumped down, and the same thing happened again where she appeared red, and the fans were like, "It's a red female ninja," and the fans named her Scarlet, and they turned her into a character.
The most infuriating character of Mortal Kombat 9 came from Glitch. I can't stand Ermac in that game.
Bloody girl who. Yeah. And was it the Rain though? It's like they said people never really got the joke. It's a purple prince, and his name is Rain. Get it, Purple Rain, and he's a prince. And people didn't get that. A lot of people didn't get.
Was Midway? Let's see. Where was Mid? They were in Chicago. Never mind. Minneapolis is where Prince did all his shit.
Purple ninja named Rain, and when you read his bio, it says he's the Prince of Adenia. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
That joke was wasted on a lot of young people, though.
He should have just crawled into when the match started. He should have just been crawling on the floor.
Yeah, he should have come up and been like,
and then he gives you that hand thing, like come to me.
He pulls his mask out to do the flame finisher, and it's actually Prince's face.
He has the Jerry. He takes his mask off, has like the Jerry curl Prince hair.
Yep.
He pulls out his big white crazy the cymbal guitar that he has. That big white guitar that's the cymbal, and he like
I tell you
smashes
what, you
across the
can't
face.
find his damn videos on YouTube though. He must be like he must try to do lawsuit on every damn one of them that shows up.
Motley Crue did that forever until they finally get him with this Evo, whatever.
Yeah,
people.
Vivo. Yeah.
Vivo. Yeah, you could. Every Motley Crue video was taken
Yep.
down.
It's on there now.
Yeah, they finally got that Vivo deal.
Yep.
Would you guys say that Prince would show up on the fighting stage in a little red Corvette? Maybe?
No, that would be his fatality. He would run over you in a little red
Run you over.
That actually would be good. I miss like all the stupid things they did with the Babalities and the
Of course, I'd
friendships.
rather him run over you with that oversized purple motorcycle though, where the handlebars like go a foot over his head. That'd be better.
Yeah, he's really short, man. It's
Oh
funny.
yeah, he's
Shorty.
tiny.
Who's the other short dude? Kevin Hart, the comedian. You ever seen
I don't
him?
know how little he is.
Is he the one that was in the Ice Cube movie recently?
Yeah.
He's been in a few things.
Ride Along.
If you ever watch his stand-up, that dude is short. Like Cat
Scary
Williams,
Movie.
he's another short guy.
How you wake up dead? How you wake
Was in Ice Cube and Ride Along. He was just playing the same exact guy he played in 21 Jump Street.
He plays the same character in everything.
He plays this angry cop.
Yeah.
He's the best thing in 21 Jump Street.
I have not seen the remake. I don't know if I want to. I'm scared.
It's
It's
funny.
funny
Yes.
as shit. But it's he has lines like, "Y'all screw this up, I'm gonna stick a snorkel in your mouth, and at the other end of that snorkel is gonna be me shitting down it."
That's like something
Yeah,
out
like
of a
every
Wu-Tang Clan album.
Like every time Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill have to go report back to him every day how their day went. Like, "Did y'all uncover anything?" And he's always like eating a sandwich or something. He's their boss, and they're like, "No." And just the expressions on his face of how just disappointed he is in these two cops, it's just hilarious. Like Ice Cube can get a look on his face. It's just like, but
The fuck?
yo, Korean
gotta be
Jesus ain't got time for
payday
your
for
problems. He busy.
He basically shows up on set and just gets to being himself, and gets
He says that
paid
snarly
millions of dollars
voice.
to do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a bite to eat. If y'all want to stay on Skype, I can just leave the chat running.
Yeah,
It'll
I'm
drop
out.
everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off.
I've been streaming you guys for like the past 20 minutes.
Really?
Oh, that's illegal. Well, you can't record us without our
That's
knowledge.
right. What if I had said something like
NSA.
Sterling did? Huh?
What if RJ had gone on a racist tirade, which is possibly could happen?
Well, my version of the little tone you hear, like when you call a company up and they have the little tone to let you know that the call may be recorded or the message. And my version of that was putting it in the Skype chat, which apparently no one read. So yeah, I'm on the stream. This is good. This is good stuff.
That'll hold up in court, though. I did tell him.
That's right, I did, but he didn't listen. It's not my fault. You guys mentioned 21 Jump Street. Have you guys noticed how freaking Johnny Depp, he's been on a slump lately with his last few movies?
Yeah, like he's every movie he's making is flopping hardcore after his massive success.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
And they said
Bill-
Pirates of the Caribbean 5 got delayed after Lone Ranger was such a flop. They were Pirates of the Caribbean 5 was delayed a year,
That
which
was
is
his only
crazy
go-to
because
at
the
this
fourth
point.
the fourth one made like $1 billion. So I mean, yeah, any Pirates of the Caribbean anything is going to make $1 billion. Just why
Whether
even
it's
delay
good or
it?
not.
Yeah, and the fourth one to me was better than the second and third one. I thought the fourth one was the second best Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
It was more concise. I couldn't tell you anything that went on in the second, third one. There's too much backstabbing and story.
The fourth one at least was just like a isolated, coherent. It was like the first one in tone, and it had a story that you could follow beginning to end with a
Yeah.
definitive ending. It wasn't like two and three like they Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions that thing. Where it was like a two-movie story arc that was it was like a two-movie story arc that was so confusing. It was way too confusing for a Disney children's movie. Like the who and the what, and they're going where for
man.
what?
I don't think it was that bad. I love the Matrix trilogy, but I hated the way they ended the series. It was just when they tried to play the Jesus angle, I was like, "Come on, guys, really? That's all you got?"
You know what I didn't like either, and this is kind of silly. You know, the lady that played the Oracle died during filming of the second one, so they recast her in the third one, and they're like, "You're not the same lady." And she's like, "I had to make a decision which changed my appearance." They wrote that into the story.
Yeah.
That's what they actually said. Well, if you're going to have a decision that change, why don't they cast somebody that looks completely different? Like, they should go to see they replace an old black lady with another old black lady. Why don't they replace her with, like, they should have had like a young white guy, and they go, it's like, "You're not the Oracle." "Yeah, I am. I had to make a decision. It did this." It just seems like that would have made more sense than this big decision she made just made her look like another old black lady.
I mean, and the directors that done it, I mean, one of them went through a sex change themselves, so it makes sense. He knows what it's like.
They should have had they should have said, how far away from a 75-year-old black lady can we get? And they said, let's get like a 18-year-old like Mexican dude or something. So seriously, and say like, it's like, "Hey Holmes, I'm the Oracle, yo." Like, no, you're not.
That would have been great. Oh man.
At least it would have been interesting instead of just replacing it with the same exact looking person and making a big deal about my appearance has changed. Yeah, but like it's changed like 3%.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know. It was a good epic story, you know, but they messed it up at the end there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brought that back as a cash grab.
Aren't they doing it? Isn't there a rumor they're making the Matrix prequel trilogy?
There's been rumors for a while, though. You know, they have a lot of material to work with. 'Cause remember the Animatrix, that collection of shorts that kind of filled in the gaps, like all the stuff that happened between scenes and explained some of the stuff that happened to Oracle. It was really good stuff, you know. And a lot of it was, you know, pretty much all of it was fan made. And
I own it. And that remember the 2-part 2D animation showing how the machines rose? That thing was better than the movies.
Dude, that thing was. That was very well done. There's so much material they could work with within that universe. I mean,
it's called the Second Renaissance or something like that.
I think so. Yeah, something like that.
Because it showed how like a robot was wrongly accused of killing a person, and they actually put the robot on trial or something, and then that's what caused the robot uprising. Is all the other robots were so pissed. Something like that, because the robot accidentally killed a human.
The whole concept of that movie still is kind of creepy to this day to think about.
Oh, yeah. It makes you question reality, you know? What is real? Like, remember the one dude sold out, Tank or whatever his name was, and he was like, well, to me, real is whatever I could taste, feel, smell, you know?
Yeah.
I know this steak is just a bunch of zeros and ones. Yeah, he accepted it. He was like, this is delicious steak. I don't care if it's fake. Make me a battery. I don't care. Call me Duracell.
Was that there was something else in that Matrix? I was like, I can't remember what it was. There was another part because I'm one of these assholes who picks things apart. You might notice, like I watch a movie and I can't help it. But there was another part of the Matrix where when Trinity falls on the spikes at the end, it's like dying. She goes to Neo. She's like, "Neo, do you remember when you caught me?" And I was thinking, well, in the timeline of the Matrix, that was like 6 hours ago. Sure, he remembers it.
That's true.
It was. It's like that's. It's literally that. From him catching her to them going on that journey, it was like 6 hours of time in the movie world. It's like, yeah, that just happened earlier today.
I never thought about it like that.
Sorry, I'm ruining your movie. Sorry.
No. It sounds like the QA department in my company, you know, not catching the obvious things and causes everything to break.
Well, they have a thing on YouTube you should watch called Cinema Sins, where they go like everything wrong with Back to the Future, and they will ruin Back to the Future for you. You're like, oh my god, I never noticed how that doesn't make any sense.
My favorite one.
There's a scene in one of the Lord of the Rings movies. I think there's a scene where there's like a car or something seen in the background.
Oh no! Oh, there is. There's a scene. I know what you're talking about. I think it's Sam and Frodo are walking through that cornfield or something like that. They're walking like through like one of those big countrysides, and there was a road in the distance. And if you know where to look, you can see a car going down the road in the distance.
They would have got to Mordor a lot faster if they just took a dang car. See,
the best Cinema Sins I think was the one where they took care. They handled the last Batman movie. Is that thing? Oh God, there was so much wrong with that movie.
Yeah, that was the longest one. That's the longest Cinema Sins ever did. It actually said, you know, they go like everything wrong in 5 minutes. This went everything wrong in a lot of minutes.
Yep,
or something. The title of it.
There were a lot of problems with that. Was the longest one. I think it was crazy. It made me hate the movie even more, and I already had plenty of reasons not to like it. Because, like, Batman freaking suddenly becomes an everyday guy. Doesn't know how to fight. He's a wimp all over again. Like, God.
There's no arc to Batman or suffering or anything to the George Clooney Batman. Like, even the Val Kilmer was having, like, panic attacks and the flashbacks and stuff. You know, like, his Batman had the whole, like, they all should, but George Clooney was he's just a guy in a suit. No, there's nothing to it.
That's true. It was a very flat character.
Another one of the best ones I saw was, have you seen the ones where they get, like, a doctor to watch, like, a movie series, and they tell you, like, the injuries the hero would have sustained, and they got all 5 Die Hard movies, and they got a doctor to watch all 5 of them and actually write every injury John McClane would have gotten, and it's like it shows him going through a window. It's like severe laceration, this, that. It says John McClane would survive that. Then there's another one that's like this. John McClane is dead. It's like John McClane is dead. Then it shows like in the 5th movie when he jumps off the roof and the chopper's shooting, he falls. They're like, John McClane is super dead after that one. And they actually tell you the injuries, and at the very end they go, it would take 17 John McClanes to survive the Die Hard franchise.
Oh, man.
Like the one in the second one where he fell, like the elevator shaft, he fell and caught onto that ledge with his fingertips or something. They're like, no, that would have broken his knuckles and he would have fallen. There's no way he could have done that. And they said John McClane is dead.
Jack Bauer conversation y'all had in y'all's podcast earlier this week, wasn't it?
Well, he's a superhero. Jack Bauer's a superhero.
Yeah, he's a superhero.
It's Jack Bauer can smell terrorists. Like he actually has a sense, like Bruce Willis in Unbreakable, where he can like touch people and know. Jack Bauer can sense, like he has a terrorist sense.
So speaking of Jack Bauer, you think they're gonna keep this 24 as more than just a little mini series? That's what they're kind of positioning as, a television event / mini series.
Yeah, I wish they just keep it going forever. Why not? He's like 49 years old, and people like the show. I know it's expensive, but why not let it just go on forever?
You think they'll make another season?
I hope so. I don't know. I hope.
Right now, what you've seen so far, what would be out of, from a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being, yeah, they're definitely gonna keep it going, or 1 being, hell no, this is just a one-time thing. What do you think right now?
I think it's good. I think it's really good. So I don't know. I just think it depends on ratings. And I think they said the ratings are about on par with the previous 24 seasons. They're not spectacular, but it's not like a flop,
They'll keep it in this time period, too. If they do this time period where it's kind of in the lull of all the other shows, 10 or 12 episodes, just to hold over, it's cheaper for them to make in the long run.
They cut the budget in half by doing 12 episodes, and they can probably make a better, more cohesive story, too, in 12 episodes. Not stretched out.
Less filler. You don't have the scenes where Jack Bauer is taking the shit or drinking some tea with a friend.
Do you remember? I remember in like season 1 or 2 when I started to realize this real time thing isn't necessarily that good. They had like 2 episodes where he literally hid in a closet for like 2 hours, and you're like, this is just because they need to fill 2 hours of time, so Jack's gonna hide in a closet. And he was like spying out through a crack at people, and it went on for. It started in 1 episode and didn't end until the next episode. Like, good
and
lord!
People complained about the Walking Dead slow episodes.
Oh yeah, don't rehash that. That was a topic on ZombieCast a lot of times, with all the people saying that there was filler, and people in the chat talking about that. I got in the All Games chat, they were saying that a lot. It's like, oh, all the filler. That show is just all filler.
It's obvious filler because the budget. They just weren't going to blow their whole budget, but if you're invested in the show, stick around. People complain too much.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense in that kind of thing because you kind of want to have a build-up. It can't just be constant zombie scares. That would dilute the effect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I'm more interested in Herschel's farming skills, so. God rest his soul.
I'm more interested in this whole episode dedicated to a zombie fell in the well, so we have to get the zombie out of the well. That's a whole episode. Like this is not advance the plot in any way. But same thing happened to Lost. They'd have some episodes of Lost, like season 2 or 3. That the whole episode is we found a van out in the woods. Let's get it running and have some fun driving it around. What? That has nothing to do with anything. We're going to build a golf course this episode.
I couldn't stick with the Lost. I swear they were writing as they went along. I swear, and I remember reading an interview, and the guy said, "Yeah, we don't know where we're going with this. We're just kind of coming up with it as we go along." Like, that's not encouraging.
It was obvious at the end. They absolutely made that shit up as they went along.
J.J. Abrams, he had a run of a couple of interesting shows and stuff like that. Because didn't he do Alias or something like that? Yeah.
And Fringe. Don't forget Fringe. Don't forget Fringe.
Yeah, Fringe. He had a run of good TV shows, and then as soon as he started going back more into the big-time production movies, this past season, like 3 of his shows were canceled because he's not really keeping up with that stuff or having really any involvement.
Did he do
the same with Spielberg? Doesn't every Spielberg show get canceled? Basically,
much.
Except for Dark
Skies. The Halo series.
Wait, was Almost Human J.J. Abrams' thing?
Yep.
Ah.
Yes, it was.
And then, you know what else it had going against it? It's on a Fox network. That network is not conducive to sci-fi. I swear they hate sci-fi. They just put it...
Did you see the Sleepy Hollow show?
I haven't really watched it.
I thought it was decent. I thought it was pretty good.
Pretty good. It gave me X-File vibes in a kind of way.
Yep. Is that canned as well?
No, that was picked up almost like 3 or 4 episodes into the season. They're doing a season 2, and
nice. That's
their
good.
viewership went up every week, pretty much.
Well, that's good because they're developing a good mythos there, so I'm excited to see what's going on with that.
Yeah, I appreciate the whole Armageddon.
Yeah.
There's not many biblical Armageddon shows on TV.
Well, Supernatural tried to do it, but they kind of went off the rails.
Yeah, they're all over the place now.
It's a fun show, but you just kind of gotta suspend your disbelief and just have fun with it. Like just laugh at it, and I don't think they take them so seriously anymore.
No, that's the problem. Some shows gotta know their limits. You gotta know if you get some success early, you gotta kind of wrap it up. Say, well, we have 4 or 5 good years in us, and then cut it off. Some shows just carry on because they print money for the networks.
Yeah. That's the thing that sucks. You either get the show that gets ended prematurely, or you get the show that went well beyond its shelf life. You never get the happy medium, really.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about Xbox. This whole abandoning, quote unquote, abandoning Kinect thing I keep reading. It's getting annoying because everybody's like, I can't believe they're abandoning it. They're not abandoning it. They're releasing a SKU that doesn't have it included, where you can buy it separately if you choose. Yeah. And everybody's saying I can't believe they're abandoning it. And no, they're not. It's not gone. The $4.99 SKU is still in stores and will continue to be. And they said they're going to unbundle it and sell it separately and give you the option on an additional SKU. But I hate misinformation. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that separate one, that separate separate Kinect is going to cost probably at least $120 or $130.
Yeah,
it's going to be something that's not valued.
It's gonna be something where they go, look, if you ever plan on getting the Kinect, you should just go ahead and buy this. And then the things going around about removing the Kinect's going to add 10% more power to the hardware, and people are going wild saying they're going to have 2 Xboxes with how can they do that? And again, it's people don't understand. They're just jumping to conclusions, not actually reading what they're doing.
Because there was a whole big write-up
months ago they're doing
before.
this.
Yeah.
They're acting like this is a new thing today. Microsoft's been talking for 3 months that they're going to do this, and it's not going to cause. They're not going to have one Xbox as a Kinect and one that doesn't, and the one that doesn't is 10% more powerful. It's just you can't have disparity in the same console. Like, the games are going to be prettier on this Xbox than that one. No, that's not how that works.
Yeah. All they simply meant was that we're going to alleviate that block for developers to use for all consoles.
And what's annoying to me is I explained it to someone, people that are just fanboys and they just don't want to hear things that are good news, I guess. And I just said this is what they're going to do, and I explained it. And the guy's like, what? The guy actually said he said something like you're a fucking clueless so and so. Said something like all I did was explain what they're trying to do, and he didn't like the sound of it, so he starts telling me starts attacking me personally.
Yeah.
I'm
just.
That's how it always goes down.
All you done was explain logic business logic. I mean,
he's like, you don't understand. He actually said, yeah, like, you don't understand how hardware works. It's like, well, I'm not a hardware genius. I'm just repeating what the developer that made Titanfall, Respawn actually said in an interview. One of their engineers was brought up the whole thing about the 10%, and they said, this is how they're going to do it. There's an article. You can actually read. So I think the guys, the engineer that made Titanfall knows more about how the hardware works than you do, random IGN poster. And I'm just repeating what he said. Because they said what it is
place.
They said what it is they have two operating systems on the Xbox, one that controls the dashboard and the apps, and one that controls games. So the Kinect with the dashboard and shit is not going to be affected at all. You're still going to be able to say, snap this, do that. That's not going to change. But in the game operating system, 10% of that power, they force them to reserve for the Kinect to put in games. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And they said, but not every developer wants to use the Kinect, but even if they don't want to use it, they still can't touch that 10% of power. Well, they're just going to say, okay, from now on, you can have that 10% of power, put it wherever you want. You know, you don't have to reserve it for Kinect. And I just explained that, and the guy's like, well, you're a fucking clueless idiot. Like, no, I'm what? I'm just explaining.
Yeah, you're clueless, man.
I'm explaining how this 10% power gain on Xbox, it's like pretty much officially, which is officially happening because they did a video with.
I just wish they would have done it before Watch Dogs came out so they get the extra 100 Ps.
Maybe they could. You know what? Maybe they can optimize. Wouldn't it be funny if they could use that 10% and optimize and get it up to 900 and you had parity on Watch Dogs?
They need to do that like right now, though.
There were actually people accusing that Microsoft paid Watch Dogs off to lower its resolution on the PS4 to make them closer. I'm like, God, dude, really?
Yeah, right.
But
man, Ubisoft is a big fan of Xbox.
Ubisoft they have an exclusive Watch Dogs deal with PS4, giving all advertising to PS4. You know, there's no Xbox anywhere in the ads. It's giving it all to PS4. The PS4 gets an exclusive bundle. They get exclusive hour of content. So you're going to tell me after all those deals, Microsoft made a phone call, this is bad PR, drop it to 30 frames per second and make it 900p. Okay, no problem, boss. And they did it. People are that nuts. They think that's what happened.
Well, here's how I'm not a fanboy either. I support both of them. Good job for, as long as both of them make money. But here's what happened in my synopsis of the scenario. Xbox did develop with lesser hardware, but they've done it knowing that way the console life cycles work, developers get smart and learn how to develop better for both consoles. So they knew eventually they'll be at the same level graphically on both consoles, especially since they kind of had a DirectX 12 in their pocket. That's the thing.
They're looking at this they're experiencing the last 10 years, and they have DirectX 12 coming out next year, and all the reports say that's going to massively increase the power of the Xbox One.
I think they'll get closer, but I still don't think they can make up for the actual GPU. I mean, the GPU is there. I mean, they can't.
I'm thinking it'll get closer, but I think I just think it's funny.
Software is cheaper than hardware, and they knew that, and that's why they're making profits on their consoles, while Sony is losing money and losing money as a company. So
Sony had a $1.4 billion, and that's funny too. I'll see people post I love reading fanboy comments. I need to stop, but I just can't. And it's a thing where it's like a guy will say like, yeah, Microsoft as a company could learn a thing or two from Sony. I actually saw a guy say that. I'm like, Microsoft's worth $300 billion. They had $20 billion in revenue last year. Sony posted a $1.4 billion loss, and everybody's taking a 50% pay cut. Yeah. If you can go by just the console, but if you're saying as a company, no. I think Microsoft's been a little better run.
Well, not to mention that Sony's executives they're committing seppuku one by one.
They're all killing themselves over there.
It's like, howdy, go!
And a guy wrote an article, too. It was just kind of funny, where he said something
by the way, that needs to be the E3 press conference. Just about 5 of their execs lined up.
Kazariah walks out and just stabs himself in the stomach and twists the knife up. And then 2 more come out, and one actually holds the blade, and the other guy runs onto it.
Somebody brings a little towel out,
Can you imagine if they came out and said, guys, Sony is officially out of money, and they said we have to sell. It's going to be the Apple PlayStation from now on. We have no.
Wouldn't it be funny if they sold to Microsoft?
And Microsoft would just kill the brand.
Mm-hmm.
They would kill the brand, and then they would say, God of War 4 coming to Xbox One in 720p.
And deal with
Instead of the execs, you'd have
they'll
all
do
the Sony
hashtag deal
fanboys
with
for
People would be killing themselves. There are people that are so insane. They'd be killing. I'd be laughing my ass off.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. They'd be killing themselves.
I was a big addict. I would love for Xbox to gobble up Nintendo.
Yeah, can you
whatever
imagine
purposes-
that?
Yeah. Just
There was a
to that
story
over.
about that too. They had an analyst said if it says you want to guarantee you will win the console war till the end of time. It's like Microsoft has so much money, and so Nintendo's Wii is a failure and all this stuff. They're going to be out of the console race for at least for a while. What if Microsoft was able to go to them and go, look, here is $4 billion. Give us Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, all that shit exclusively on Xbox One for the next 10 years. And can you imagine if they came out at E3 and announced that? Like,
Oh my gosh.
Drop the mic moment.
Yeah, Phil Spencer should he just come out and say that and drop the mic and be like, yeah, next 10 years, exclusive deal, Mario, Zelda, everything, Xbox One, bitches.
Well, Nintendo's already they're whoring out some of their properties to mobile.
Yeah.
So that which is I'm shocked because Nintendo's stubbornness is what got
Xbox
them.
Watch TV.
What's that?
I had to tell my X-Bone to watch TV.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. It's right there.
I thought you were giving us a command. Xbox, watch TV. You guys watch TV now. No, but
when I was
do it all the
a
time.
second ago when I was talking, I said the name of the console and it caused it to do something. That thing comes up that says "say something" because it heard its name. You're like, oh, that is kind of annoying.
well, remember the whole debacle with the Sony PlayStation, as we've come to know it, was supposed to be a Nintendo platform. Remember, guys?
Right. Yeah, because they
Right.
didn't want the CD drive.
Yep. And
They
and
threw it
and
away.
the, Nintendo has been spitting in at third-party supporters for the longest, and then now they're finally like, you know what? We can't do this alone. But they're still in a special place because no one's touching them in the handheld market, and they got
Right.
literally enough money to keep the lights on for like 14 years, and they really
People
don't
forget about that. They forget about that DS. That's Nintendo's like,
Yeah.
look, yeah, we had this 3DS. It's gonna it prints money.
It does.
exactly, and they don't have to.
print.
They don't have to compete with Microsoft and Sony. you
Well,
know?
what was it? I was watching Pactor here recently, and he was like, Nintendo has so damn much money right now, they could just basically wait 30 years before even needing to make money
Yeah.
again. They're just ridiculous how much cash they have.
And the
So-
thing about Nintendo graphics too, it's their. Look, I know that the Xbox has problems. I'm pretty sure Mario Kart could run 1080p
Oh, yeah.
on the Xbox One. I'm pretty sure like that art style could run 1080. I mean, they're getting those games to 60 frames per second on the Wii U, so I'm pretty sure they could get. But I just can't even imagine if they came out and said Mario Galaxy 3 Xbox One exclusive, bitches. Just like, holy shit.
That'd be crazy.
That maybe that's what they do at E3.
Just
I can't
the
even imagine.
opening
I think I
show
would just-
is just you hear lights go down and you hear it's me, Mario.
But you know what's weird though? I mean, you can say all this, but those Nintendo properties are not carrying Nintendo very damn well.
They're
on
not
their
making money
consoles.
right now. Well, Nintendo might not want to tarnish it, but where else are they going to put the Nintendo properties if the Wii U is say the Wii U is dead in like a year? They're not going to have another console for a long time. But they're just going to let Mario sit and do nothing for 8 years or whatever they decide. So why not let Microsoft give you $5 billion and make some Mario games? And like you said, can you imagine at the very end they say we have one very special thing. They always have to end it with a big deal. One very special video to show you one of our games coming, and the lights go down, and you just hear the "It's a me, a Mario." the crowd. I mean, people would be 50% of the people would be like crying in joy, and 50% of the people would be blowing their brains out.
Son of a bitch.
No fucking way.
Well, remember we never thought we'd see Sega and Nintendo join forces,
That's
and they
true.
did. So when I guess it could happen. But it'd be great if they, along with that video, they do the classic N64 Mario jelly face thing.
Oh,
you know?
It's
But like
bounces
in
up on the big
HD,
screen.
they got to do with extra P's.
That would be absolutely like can't imagine. And
The
then
fact
Phil
that they
Spencer
would be
comes
able
out.
to keep it secret.
Phil Spencer comes out and is comes out and says, we have signed an exclusive deal coming this Christmas. Legend of Zelda, Flippity Floppity, Twilight, Princess, Sword, Northwest, whatever those games are called.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
the conference needs to end with the Mario Jellyface thing, and then say coming whenever, and then Spencer comes out and says, do I really have to say anything else? Bye, everybody.
And then it would turn into it's going to come to PlayStation 4 as well. That's my favorite, too, when a game is...
Oh, yeah, because they have that big
it,
Metal Gear thing at the Microsoft.
I read N4G a lot, and there'll be a game like Sunset Overdrive, because that was made by Insomniac, who only made PlayStation games. And like people will not even read the article. They'll just see an article on Sunset Overdrive, and they will immediately say, it's going to come to PlayStation 4 too. Okay, it's going to. And you're like, you didn't even read what the guys... They just said in the article, Microsoft paid for the production of Sunset Overdrive and is publishing it. It's their game. But people will go, it's going to come to PS4 as well. How? Microsoft owns it. It's basically a first-party game made by Insomniac.
Yep.
Same with Titanfall. They people still keep saying it's coming to PS4, and you're like, how many times does Respawn and EA and Microsoft have to say no? It's not.
That is I'm still almost convinced that Microsoft will roll up the bank to keep Titanfall 2 and exclusives as well. They're just going to roll up the armored truck, throw out money, and say, here you go.
If they could come out this E3 and say say they didn't lock that shit down,
Yeah.
somehow, like say, Titanfall's been a big hit for us, and we are happy to announce a new partnership.
Microsoft just own Respawn.
Because Titanfall's been, I mean, it's still 2 months later, it's still at the top of the charts. It's still, I mean, it's you go like look at any chart,
DLC
still
content yet.
Yeah. They actually had a story I showed you, Subsy, in like the United Kingdom. It's like Titanfall recaptures top spot this week. It's like it's been out 2 fucking months. Recaptures top spot.
Oh, and they're just going to get a boost with the $399 consoles now for people who've been holding off. I mean, what game are they going to buy? They're going to buy Titanfall if they care anything about first-person shooters.
But the thing is, why do you even care about the new price point then if you were going to buy Titanfall? Because Titanfall...
Should have bought the last.
Yeah, it was the pack-in.
Yeah. You had the pack-in for a while, yeah.
$40 difference, I guess. I guess you could say that.
And then they're going to add 25 new countries this fall, and how many of those people are going to run out and get an Xbox with Titanfall?
It's definitely promising for what Xbox done recently with all the announcements about games for gold and all this. They're getting all that out of the way for E3. That tells me there's going to be a lot of content in E3 that we just don't really have a clue about.
I hope so. I definitely do, because as I said earlier, I'm looking at the rest of this year, and I'm going, okay.
Well, I like the $399 console goes. Microsoft's conference is at 9 in the morning on the same day the $399 Xbox goes on sale.
Oh yeah.
So they're like plenty of time for people to watch our conference, go holy shit, and run out to the GameStop.
Yeah.
And get that $399. It's June 9th.
Well, Phil Spencer, if he announces Gears of War 4, Halo 5, Halo 2 remastered, and then a bunch of different new games we haven't heard about, and then he just rolls out, like, say, for example, they drop the Kinect version to, like, $450 or something. He can then literally drop the mic, because they will take a huge jump back into the console fight.
What did you say it again? Have you said what? The Kinect
If they drop the Kinect one down to $450 and have the other SKU at $399, right?
Yeah. Well, I like what John said. What if like Sony comes out and says, "Oh yeah, well PS4 is $389." I don't think they can afford to do like a $50 or $100 price drop. Let's drop it $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've already come out and said that they're losing money on that.
I don't think I've ever seen a game company do that. Just drop their price. $10. Yeah,
$5. It's like a bidding war. That'd been so funny if what Microsoft should have done that would have been just the ultimate troll. They should have said the new SKU is $398. Come on, that would have been hilarious if they'd done that. It's $398.
What did they have? I remember Sega Saturn screwed themselves so damn bad doing something like that. I remember I think it was the PlayStation 1 was like $199 at that point, and the Saturn was $300. They decided, you know what, we'll make it $250.
Yeah.
What? You're getting your ass kicked by this one, and you're not even going to match their price. You're going to still be $50 more than them.
I bought a Sega Saturn. I don't regret it, but
I did too.
the pricing, it was hard to justify it. Even though I was a Sega fan, but I even couldn't justify that. You know what? Yeah, I won't even argue.
I remember how old I was at the time, but I remember thinking that was stupid. I must have been like, what, 13?
Sega Saturn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was mid 90s.
But they bounced back with the Sega Dreamcast. That system was way ahead of its time.
I love Dreamcast. They did everything right with that system. That's what really annoys me. The price was really good on it. The launch lineup was awesome on it.
Yep.
They were the first to go online. Well, I mean, I guess you could say it, Sega TV or whatever the hell it was first.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean, though. I mean, it had a modem in the box. You know, you could play football online with this thing.
Yeah.
And they still lost. It's like, how the hell did that happen? I can't think they did wrong other than...
I heard a guy logically break down why they lost. They said because that console came out after 3 previous Sega consoles that had stabbed people in the back. The Sega CD, the 32X, and the Saturn were such like failures that people, by the time they're like, look, okay, we've given you 3 shots. We're not buying this 4th one.
Yep.
Probably is. And EA wouldn't help them.
Everybody ran out and bought the 32X. It fucked them over. They bought the damn Sega CD. It wasn't supported. Fucked them over. They bought the Saturn. It was not supported. Fucked them over. It's like, okay, look, you've abandoned 3 things in a row.
Yep. But I loved that machine. I thought it was great.
And then the Dreamcast came out, had the problem with like, yeah, but PS2 is coming out. It's like, oh, I'll just wait for that.
Sad. Because, I mean, I remember being big into arcades at the time. And I was like, man, they were getting all these awesome arcade ports.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do think Dreamcast was the first one that did look arcade. Like, this looks like the arcade.
Yeah.
Well, they had the Naomi motherboard in there straight from the arcade. You know?
Right.
I think
I played Resident Evil Code Veronica on Sega Saturn.
I love that game on that.
Oh, that's one of the hardest in the series,
one of the better ones. Yep.
But it looked great at the time. I remember that. And my problem with Soul Calibur is I liked Soul Edge more.
Don't forget NBA 2K where you could win the game with a 78-yard field goal at the end.
You mean NFL 2K?
NFL 2K. My brother and I play it, and yeah, you could kick if you knew how to do it, you could kick a 78. I actually won a game one time playing it where I kicked a 78-yard field goal.
I remember, though, when NFL 2K, though, that was the game I had to have. I saw that at E3. I was like, holy shit, I want this machine when it comes out. When is it out? Damn it.
And go look at that. It looked photorealistic when you were 7 or 18.
It looked better than anything else out at the time.
I played a Shinobi game on the Sega Saturn. I can't remember what the title of it was, but it was actually the first Shinobi game I played since the Sega Genesis. And it had full motion video in it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember, what was it, NFL Game Day on PlayStation 1, and I saw an introduction where they had the little helmets coming out of the tunnel. Do you remember that?
Remember when the helmets first had little shines on them, and it was like, look, it's shiny on the helmet.
Well, no, this was a full motion video intro. It was computer generated. It wasn't in engine. And yeah, these little helmets are coming out. It's going do 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 do. You know, at the stadium and shit. I was like, oh, that is neat. And then when the game started, they started playing "We Will Rock You." Oh shit!
I'm looking at an NFL 2K Dreamcast video right now. I just want to reminisce.
We got a lot of people joining in the Twitch chat. It's funny. We're just bullshitting here. People are like coming into.
Oh, there are people. I didn't realize people were listening to this. So shit.
No, I'm serious. I'm streaming this crap.
How many Twitchers? We got a Twitcher.
It peaked at 7. There's been a lot of people like leaving. Like, you're not playing the game. What the hell?
They're like, what the hell is this? And then they run off.
Fuckers are talking. What the hell?
Let's see.
We're frustrated.
Stop fucking talking.
Frustrated gamers talking about shit.
Let's see. I'll try to find the original NFL Game Day.
God, he won't stop fucking talking. Is this guy still talking? That's what I say to Sub-Z when I'm kicking his ass in a game, but he won't stop talking shit.
I'm still talking. Yeah.
God, this guy's still fucking talking. I kick your ass. Look, I kicked your ass again. He's still talking.
Not gonna stop.
uh,
Not gonna stop till I win. I'll wear you down.
And I picked Fulgore, and you fun.
Opti's the
Y'all
worst
fighting each
though. Opti loves to troll so hard in chats. You get him going. Oh man.
He's like the big Sony fanboy, but he plays Titanfall more than anything on his PlayStation.
Yeah. It's funny. People just love reasons to hate on Xbox, but I just showed you guys the specs. The specs are almost exactly the same pound for pound. One has DDR3, one has DDR5, and then one has a little bit more shader units and other stuff,
That's not just a little more shader. That's almost like double.
I hear the problem is they say it's that RAM is what's called a bottleneck, where they can't get all the textures. That's why the games are low resolution. They can't get them all to just flow through. Somebody explained it with a graph why the textures, they can't get games to as high resolution.
See, that's BS, because on the PC, people run lesser specs and they can run games in full details. It comes down to the developers and how competent they are in unlocking the power. That's the same thing happened, over a decade ago. People were like saying, "Oh, you can't get these kind of graphics without at least these minimal requirements." Then Unreal Engine came out, and people were like, "Holy shit!" They made Voodoo drivers, and the Voodoo drivers made things look so crazy. And all of a sudden, people were like, "Wow, look at the graphics! You must be running a high-end computer." Nope, my computer's shit.
It's the NFL Game Day intro. Yay! Watch the shiny dancing helmets. Oh yeah, the shiny helmets are coming out of the tunnel.
Look at this frame rate. What is this? 12 frames per second?
Probably.
I remember somebody. Oh yeah, I see that. I remember somebody said, "I missed the N64 era of GoldenEye and 1080p or 1080 snowboarding. That smooth 10 frames per second." GoldenEye was like 10 frames per second if you look at it now. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. We're so spoiled now. Now we're gonna...
ease.
Did you see that? They had a great picture showing GoldenEye where it had like the character model with just a dude's face, like a picture of a guy's face pasted on the character model.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the worst looking graphics ever, and it says Gamers Then, and it said, "Holy shit, it looks fucking real." Then it said Gamers Now, and it shows like Grand Theft Auto 5, like it looks like photorealistic, and it says, "This shit looks pixelated."
Yep.
Like, it's true.
You ever been in like a Best Buy or Sears or H.H. Gregg, and people are looking at TVs, and I just love just kind of floating about and listening to the conversations people had, especially couples. And then there's always the dude that's trying to act like he knows what he's talking about. He's like, "Yeah, look at this, honey. This is 1080p. Look how crisp it is." And I'm looking, and I'm
the video source is horrible going into it.
Yeah, it's like a coaxial source, and I'm looking at the specs. That's a 720p TV, by the way. But he's like, "Look at this TV looks way better than that one." And I'm like, see, people do not know the difference between 1080 and 720, especially on small formats. I'd be damned if someone could spot it, but at first glance, you really got to look for those differences.
My mom gets sick. My brother, me and my brother and my dad will talk for like an hour about 1080p, this and that, and my mom she's literally like, "I can't take it anymore." Like, she doesn't understand it, doesn't give a shit. She just hears us going 7. Like, my dad bought a Blu-ray player one time, and I had to set it up for him, but he had to like kind of update his entire entertainment center because it was ancient. Like, everything. I said, "You need to update all this shit." So it was literally like 3 days during Christmas of hearing him and I talk about 1080p, 720p, 120 hertz, 240, and she finally snapped. Like, I don't want to hear, if I hear goddamn 1080 whatever one more time.
What?
And then like, no, then my brother just bought a massive television. Apparently, I don't know how big it is, but my mom said like she was gonna go over there on Mother's Day to his house, and my dad was going, and she's like, "I didn't even want your father to go because I didn't want to hear it, but I made him promise me before we went to his house they were not going to talk about 1080p's or whatever the hell that shit is." So that's all they talk about. Like, that's men. taking a big dump and having as many peas on your TV as possible. That's what being a man is.
Yeah. just whipping out the peas and put them on the table.
The poos and the pixels.
8-bit pixelated game right now.
TV's got lots of peas, man.
It's good. That's good stuff.
How much of a TV did your brother buy?
Speaking of the size of the TV, I know some clowns that get like 60 or 70-inch TV and they're sitting like 5 feet away from it. You don't do that.
I sit about 10 feet away from mine.
Well, there's actually a real, there's a mathematical equation for it. And to get the optimal viewing angles and the best experience with it.
Well, yeah, or your shit looks grainy when you get up close to it. I mean, that's just the way TVs are.
Exactly. It's just, some people it's proverbial penis comparison. It's like, I'm going to get as big as I can just because I can. The bigger the number, the better.
Of course, so much nowadays is pure marketing and everything. It's just taglines to get you to feel like you need to buy something else.
Yeah. No, I could totally go for 100-inch, so why not?
Projection screen?
No, projections suck. You can't turn your lamps on.
Yeah. They're good bang for your buck, but if you do a lot of video games on them, I think a lot of time they recommend you don't do video games on the projection TVs, especially the you're talking about rear projection.
No, I mean like projector.
Oh yeah, well they got the rear projection TV and then they got the DLPs. Yeah.
What was I saying? I forget. Keep going.
You're talking about like the DLPs with the like have a little drop screen and project it onto the surface.
Yeah, with a projection.
Yeah, those are neat too. But I still think that's more for like a movie theater experience than gaming.
Well, it was like, I was going to say, if you want a 70-inch TV, they got like a refurb Vizio or something right now for $1,100.
Vizio's great, and they got Sony parts in there too.
But I thought that was kind of interesting because that was the lowest I've seen one priced in a while.
I saw a Sharp for like $900 at Sears. No one ever thinks to go to Sears.
A 70?
It was like 65.
Okay.
But I mean,
I saw like they had a Sony 4K TV that was a 65-inch and it was like $2,600 or something like that.
That's not bad considering those are still pricey because
they're brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Remember when the freaking plasmas first came out and they were like $20,000 or something crazy?
Oh hell
like that?
yes! I remember going to Best Buy in Louisiana and I had seen one of those and they said how much they were. I was like, holy shit!
My dad bought one of those in 2005. 42-inch. It was like $2,500 for a 1080p plasma television. 1080i.
I was about to say that wasn't 1080p if he bought it.
Yeah, it's 1080i.
People bought them. I mean, that's a lot of beer. That's your beer budget easily. That's your go out and eat budget. That's a new car budget. Good
Lord.
But
the question is though, do you really need to get out if you have one of those? Though?
Depending on how bad TV is and how little is on. Yeah.
There's only so much reality TV a person can take.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you're doing. I mean, if your life is centered around the TV, then that's investment. But I don't know. That's crazy. Even back then, I knew that was crazy. I was like,
there's fucking shit. God, this cat fighting off the dog video is the most overshown thing I've ever seen.
Are you watching the Kelly file right now?
Yeah, good lord. Xbox mute.
Yeah, the cat
heroic cat named Tara. The cat. Never seen. I mean, it is a neat video, but it's still. Come on.
Well, it's like, they showed the guy punting the cat over and over again a couple weeks ago.
I don't want to watch that one. I like cats. I like watching cats be heroes, even though I know they're evil.
You don't like watching a cat be fed then booted like a place kicker?
No, because that makes me hate people. Because people are terrible. People
They
terrible.
are. People are terrible. That's true.
Sorry, enough reasons to hate mankind.
I mean, why would you hey, look at this cute little kitty here, kitty, come eat, kitty. I ironed your trash.
Wow!
Whatever. Okay, I kicked it in the face.
He's proud of it too. I mean, he had like a drop the mic moment after he.
If I had a baseball bat, I'd have hit him in the back with it and said, "Yeah, you like it, asshole."
Oh shit.
That's like the stupid trend they had going for a while of people doing the. Well, I forgot what they called them, but the surprise.
They'd run up
punch.
behind people and elbow them in the back of the head.
Yeah, you really knew where I was going with it.
Yeah.
Like it was alright when people were going to drive through windows, and if the person that attended them was a real asshole, they would do the fire in the hole and throw their drink into the window and then drive off. You know that I can understand. Like if the person was a real asshole, it's like, yeah, drive up to the window. You know.
Those people that are going around knocking people in the back of the head, yeah, those people are
possible.
Those are videos I watch, and I'm like, it makes me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get somebody in the back of the head, you can kill them. I mean,
no, because they're knocking them out, then they're face planting onto the concrete.
Yeah, it's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
That's not dangerous.
Those are the same assholes that there's stairs and the escalators right next to each other, but they take the escalators and then they're pushing through people and getting frustrated with everyone else. Like, why don't you get out of my way? I'm trying to move here. Like, if you want to run down the escalators, take the freaking stairs.
Yeah, take the damn stairs.
And those same assholes are the ones that don't know how to park, and you can't park on either side of them because they're so fucking crooked.
Yeah.
Like I saw one video, security video. The angriest I've ever been watching any video was some old lady was like walking up some stairs. It was a real video. It's a little old lady, and this guy wanted to rob her. And instead of just walking up and grabbing her purse, he walked her up, grabbed her, and threw her down the stairs. And just grabbed her purse. It's like you didn't have to throw. He actually killed her. And you're like, you know what? You could have just taken her purse. You're like a 20-year-old strong guy. Why did you need to throw her down the stairs and then take the purse? And you watch it, and you're like, people are scum.
Yeah.
There's just no reason for it, you know? I mean, if you want her purse, fine. But now you've turned like a petty theft into you're going to prison for the rest of your life.
Right.
Because they're going to catch you because you're on a security camera video.
In Texas or Georgia, he goes to prison until he ends up dead. No.
Yeah.
In Georgia and Texas, he ends up raped and then electrified.
I'll tell you one thing that did surprise me. There was locally, there was an Outback Steakhouse where they took the employees to the back and shot them execution style, then left. And they ended up giving them life in prison. I was like, what the fuck? Why wasn't I on that damn jury? Where the hell did they end up just going to prison for that shit? They should be dead.
I saw one the other day. A guy was just like the night janitor at like a Burger King. Just the night janitor. And guys broke into the Burger King to try to rob the place. They had him just sitting on the floor. And they robbed the place. And as they're walking out, one of them just turns and goes, boop, and shoots him in the head. And he does it like with no more concern you'd have for like turning around and tossing your shirt onto the bed. Just like, whoop. And you're like, you just fucking blew a guy's brains out and killed him. Why did you need to do that? You know, you got the money. You just leave.
Not to get into a debate on laws and everything, but that's why, in a lot of ways, I'm glad people can carry guns in our state. And
oh, yeah.
People who carry guns, 99% of them are sane, well-trained, and properly.
Think about how many people are in the United States. I mean, there's the grand total. And then they showed this one guy in Florida who shot a guy in the movie theater, which, by the way, the guy in the movie theater was a dickhead that he shot. So he was kind of provoked.
He had it coming because he was
you get what I mean. I mean, he did have to provoke the situation which caused it. But
Georgia just passed a law allowing people to carry their guns in bars, for God's sakes, which I'm all for gun rights. I don't know if I'm sure.
Not drunk people with guns.
I get the whole not having guns at sporting events because, hey, you could alter this.
Somebody gets mad and shoots Tom
Brady.
Brady.
Think about it, somebody has some massive bet or something going on. Like,
oh, yeah.
What if
you know
they
last
think their
Boy
life's
Scout,
going to end anyway? They got so much money on it.
The
Get a call on the sideline. There's a sniper rifle pointed at your head. Missed his throw.
They have got so many cameras at those places, though. I mean, nobody would even attempt to do anything like that. That's a
No.
crazy witch
I
stuff.
think they would, because people, there's cameras all over everywhere. You can't go anywhere without being on camera, and people are still. I mean, we have 5 angles of a dog mauling a boy and a cat rescuing
That's
it.
true.
I mean, there's literally 5 angles or something of this shit happening. So
On that
we're
same
on camera right now.
On that same token, yeah, you are on camera, kind of.
Yeah, I am. I see the connector.
I've got a Connect and a webcam aiming at me right now.
NSA's watching you. Have you guys noticed that the sporting events are not as fun as they used to be a few years back? Like back when I was in New York, they stopped having like bleacher creatures. There used to be a section of the bleachers where people could drink beer and hang out and have fun. They got rid of that. Then they started
They've got
making
that all over the place at the ballpark. I mean, you can get liquored up wherever you want to. In Arlington, Texas.
A lot of places are shutting that kind of stuff down, though. Like, they won't even let you bring certain kind of bottles into the ballpark or the stadium.
Yeah, because you can throw like a heavy glass bottle and hit a player in the head with it or something.
Yeah. It's like going through the airport and going through all these TSA style checkpoints.
Yeah, it's weird. I went to a game one time where they did make you take your belt off and all that. It was a day game. But then the last one I went to, it was like, okay, here's your ticket, scan it, you're in. I mean, they did nothing. You just went right in. So
well, I got the TSA. I'll take like a video game console. It's very flaky. Like half the time they're like, you have to take that out of the box and we have to whatever, and I do it, and then half the time they're like, oh no, don't even worry, whatever, don't, who cares? Yeah. So the TSA rules are flaky. Like I don't even think they.
Yeah. They like to troll. If they think you have a face that they like to troll, it's like, yeah, you look like someone I want to troll. Or
because they can pick wherever they want out of that line and make them go through the scanner where they can see you naked. I've been in the scanner where they can see you naked.
Oh,
where you have to go to that big machine and put your hands up.
Did they put you?
And they can see you completely naked.
Did they ever put you in the
little
little
vault now in the Washington D.C. that shot?
Well, have you guys ever been called by TSA into like the little timeout room they have? It's like a glass fishbowl almost.
And it's like a billy box in hockey.
I've been in that
exactly.
box.
Dude, they put me in that thing.
Oh, good. And they searched you down. They rubbed you all down.
Yeah, I felt so violated. I don't know why. No matter what I do, I can come down minimalist, take all my piercings out, and like have no change in my pocket, no belt buckle on, nothing. And that the freaking the metal detector goes off no matter what. I don't know. I must have a metal plate or something, or some shrapnel in me that I don't know of. It's crazy. I'm radioactive. I think. I'm pretty sure.
Radioactive. I got in that box just because I have a cat that I always take everywhere, and I told them like there was an incident where my hands were shredded back at Christmas by the same cat at the in the airlines, and I asked they make you take the cat out so they can scan the bag, and I'm like, I really don't want to take this cat out anymore at the TSA because it's a kind of, it might get loose, so they took me into the creepy fishbowl and let me take the cat out in there, so if it got loose it wouldn't be a problem.
It's so awkward because everybody can see you and they assume that you're a terrorist right away.
Oh yeah.
What did he do? Like, don't have a beard. Like, I had an epic beard going, and I'm like, damn it, this just looks really wrong.
You should have gotten him for profiling.
I know, right? Damn, hindsight's a bitch. Then I'll be that guy, because everybody sues for everything these days.
Crazy.
There's some dude apparently that I think they were suing. Were you just talking about this earlier?
What?
Someone was talking about this on a podcast recently that he's suing Adam Carolla because he got like a patent on certain podcast tropes or technology or something, and he just targeted Adam Carolla, like something like if you podcast and you use a certain program, you got to pay royalties to him or something like that.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that kind of shit should not exist, especially if people have been doing it for a long time. Someone should not be able to retroactively just get a patent unless they can prove that they were one of the first people.
If you get a patent, you should like be making a product of something, not a method anybody else can use to do something.
Yeah,
technique. Yeah.
Well, Google, if you look at Google, they have all kinds of crazy patents, and they patent concepts, but when they do it, they back it up with lots of like graphs and theories and stuff like that. Like they actually back it up. It's not like just a very loose idea. It's like if you create a thing that lets you be able to float, then you gotta pay me money. Like, that's very general. That's very generalized. Okay, yeah, sure, you go.
If you create a thing that floats.
Yeah, you create a floating thing.
Yeah, floating
you create
thing.
a boat. What does it float in air or water? Just if it floats,
it just floats. Yeah.
It just floats.
And if somebody makes this, I want money.
I took a duty that floated the other day. Well, you owe us money for that duty.
I have patented dutying. Yes.
Pat Riley supposedly back in the days patented the phrase 3P, even though at the time none of his teams ever won 3 in a row or won at all, really.
Oh, that Michael Buffer patented "Let's get ready to rumble."
Didn't Paris Hilton try to patent "That's hot"?
Oh God!
I think she did.
I think the "I've fallen and I can't get up" patented theirs because you see the little trademark thing on the commercial where it says "I fall, I can't get up." It's got a little trademark.
It's a legendary comment. People still say it. It's like 25 years after that ad, people still say "I fall and I can't get up."
And nobody has been able to match as well as that old lady did. Because I've heard another "I've fallen, I can't get up." You just don't have the sheer helplessness of the original. I've fallen and I can't get up. These new people just can't do it right.
Subsy, maybe in like 50 years, you can be the new fallen and I can't get up old person.
Yes.
That commercial was kind of depressing if you stop.
Yeah, and the second part is where it just really ups it. And I can't get up.
Help is on the way, ma'am.
I felt so bad for her. Like, what's this old lady doing living in this big house by herself and no one's there to hear her cries?
Oh my God, they're showing the dog again.
Yeah, I'm on it.
What you said. Quit showing the cat. Quit showing the cat.
This is a case, though. This video, if you see the damage that dog did to that kid's leg, did you see the pictures?
I didn't say what it did.
You can see it like, in that little video that lasted a few seconds. That dog ripped that kid's leg to pieces.
Damn.
It's like he has those types of gashes where you can actually see like the yellow, like the fat, yellow fat shit. Yeah. And it's like, so I think, that dog had jumped on that kid's face. It had permanently fucked that kid up. So maybe that video is a little more like, the cat actually did save the boy.
At least it wasn't a monkey on that.
Yeah, I would rather be attacked by anything than a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Freaking crazy
Fuck
animal.
that.
Yeah.
They rip your eyes, your nose off, your testicles out.
They get personal. They get personal.
And then
that lady interviewed on Oprah? The chimpanzee lady on Oprah who's like her face was just gone. Yeah, her hands were gone. Yeah. It's like, ugh.
The monkeys
just ripped her hands off of her body.
They know what to go for, man. The eyes and the face. They know what's this guy going to fight back with? His hands and his eyes. So that's what I'm going for first.
Then I'm
gonna rip his balls off just to. I'm gonna rip his balls off just to break his spirit.
Yeah, he won't be able to see what
evolution
I did,
right there.
Then
they grew up in a wild, crazy jungle, and we grew up in houses and domesticated and.
Yeah, it's the revenge of Bubbles, is what it is.
And the thing is, you'll see videos of a guy like
Michael Jackson did.
They'll have like a hunter who's like, this man was mauled for 20 minutes by a grizzly bear, and you look at him and you're like, I can't even really tell anything happened to him because they put like a chimpanzee in 30 seconds does like 1,000 times the damage that a grizzly bear does in 20 minutes. Because I think a grizzly bear he'll grab hold of your head and kind of drag you around. A chimp is just going fucking crazy, like just.
They're overcompensating.
Do you think the new Planet of the Apes movie will be true to life? If it is, that would be awesome.
It should be just chimps running through the city, just ripping people's faces off.
Yeah.
Ah! There should be a lot of balls. There should be a lot of shots of just chimps' hands like
rolling around on the ground,
bloody balls, and just throwing them.
Flinging poop at each other after the fact. Like they beat you up and then fling poop at you.
They did that like Honest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How disease? You see that, the Honest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video?
I saw the Honest DuckTales video, the true DuckTales, where they'd just be shitting everywhere and fucking around.
They should do true Planet of the Apes, where the chimps are just. This is what chimps. If a real war broke out, they're just literally ripping everybody's balls off and biting their hands off. Caesar sitting there just watching it with so much pride as his chimp army's just ripping balls off left and right.
Have you guys ever owned like parrots or parakeets or any kind of bird?
My mom had a cockatiel or something.
Time ago.
Those things are little freaking shitting machines.
Oh yeah, they shit everywhere. You got that paper all over the place.
Yeah, it's crazy. And if you let them out, like, you know, it's nice. In theory, it's nice to have a parrot on your shoulder, but you got to think about it. Pirates back in the day must have had shit all over them all the time.
Pirates were nasty back in the day. Yeah, imagine they had like showers for weeks on end.
Dude, that's even worse.
But you know what? I was watching that movie Lincoln with my dad recently, and he made this one observation at the very end of it. You know, when Lincoln's giving this big speech on the steeple and all that, he got all these guys in these wool coats all around him. He was like, "I bet it smelled bad then."
Yeah,
when he was doing that.
Dude, yeah.
There's also I like the character in the Hobbit movies, the brown wizard who he lets the birds nest in his hair, and he just has this white bird shit coming down his face. It's very subtle, but it is funny. He just has bird shit down the side of his face all the time.
What was his name? Ragarest or something?
Radagast. The brown.
Radagast, yeah, that's it. The
Takes his hat
wizard.
off, and there are birds actually in his hair.
That was great.
Have any of you actually seen the Lincoln movie, the new one?
Nah. I saw Abraham Lincoln Vampire.
I mean, since you know everything about it, it really doesn't matter. At the end of it, the whole shooting lasts like 5 seconds. They hardly even touch on it.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, he's dead. And it was like, shows him in a bed. That's it.
I'd like to see that. the one part everybody knows is 5 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, they don't go into it at all. It's like he's riding off to the theater, and then the next thing you know, he's in the bed. They just completely jumped over it.
And then the end, it's GG, and then roll credits. That'd be great.
It was actually pretty close to that. They did the little speech thing on the steeple thing. That was it.
I liked in the Vampire Hunter at the end. He's just heading to the theater, and he
Yeah.
said, "Well, I'm going to the theater," and the last shot is him riding off towards the theater. Then the movie ends.
Well, the guy offers to make him immortal, didn't he? And they was like, nah.
Oh yeah, something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
how-
He got
yeah.
killed. I like that movie.
It almost
more
makes
than-
you think it was like a planned stage assassination or something. Like he went into hiding or something. Like he just had to go to the theater and pretend to get his brains blew out or something.
Oh.
And that guy looked like Lincoln too. He looked like Liam Neeson's like little brother.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I was watching it. He resembles a really young Liam Neeson. Facial features.
And Liam Neeson was rumored to play Lincoln at one point in that movie. Didn't he win the Oscar? The guy that did play, he won like his 15th Oscar for Lincoln.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh yeah, Daniel Davis. Yeah. It's weird. He did the Last of the Mohicans, and it was like he never did a role like that ever again. He just kind of moved on.
I think I'm gonna let you guys roll.
Yeah.
Right.
We were rolling for like 2 hours. I'm gonna put this up on YouTube.
We're like this whole thing's been 3 hours. If you include the first part.
That's true. I had my eating intermission.
But I'll talk to you guys later.
I must have joined in really late because I came in for the taint. And that's all I caught.
He came for the taint. That was what it was. He came in for the taint.
Tagline of the night. Ended on that.
All right, you guys take it easy.
He came for the taint, stayed for the discussion.
You put it on YouTube, you can put that in there as the headline.
You know what?
You can steal that from me. I'll let you have that.
You should patent that, man. That could be a good like bed and breakfast kind of tagline, you know, on a little sign.
That's true, and when the world really goes to hell, we can totally use that because that'll be common language. Yeah.
Come for the
That'd be
taint, stay for the
normal
breakfast.
slogan. It won't be. Trust me, in 20 years that won't be risque at all. It'll be like it'll be the Holiday Inn commercial.
Shit, a year from now that'll be Miley Cyrus's biggest hit.
Probably.
Oh God, at the rate she's going, I think she's going through a phase. She's going through that. Let me get as much attention as I can, even if it's bad attention.
She went from nice little girl to total whore within like 10 seconds. It was quicker than Anakin's transition in the third.
It was.
Yeah, his was a slow. Anakin was a slow downward spiral.
He was like
slaughtering hundreds of kids.
Yeah, like 1 second he was like, "Man, I don't think we should really be doing this." Oh, fuck it.
Kill all the kids.
Kills all the kids.
Oh my god, that's
Anakin, you're
great.
here to save us. No.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I wasn't a fan of the new movie that much, but they did do a good job of showing why he was so frustrated, all that pent up sexual frustration, and like all the freaking rage moments. And like, dude, oh gosh, epic fails after epic fails. I understand why he went evil.
Yeah, but
So
it
now
happened.
we all know how to
it
go
hap-
to the dark side.
It happened so damn quick, though. I mean, it was like he really felt bad about the whole, Samuel L. Jackson being blown out the window, and then and it was like 2 minutes later he's slaughtering children.
So we know Mace Windu landed on Earth and become Nick Fury. That's what we figured out from that. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, okay.
But back to Miley, I feel like any of these like female child stars, or actually any of the child stars that come off of Disney, when they go into the secular world, they just become like crazy mofo's. Like,
I had this discussion a while back. It's weird because the Olsen twins silently made like $1 billion business, and they've been like nothing since those crappy little direct-to-video movies they made.
yeah, I don't get it. Like, how are they such a
And they're
hot thing?
worth $1 bajillion, and I'm thinking, okay, Miley Cyrus, you know what? You didn't have to be in the public eye, but you were one of those Disney kids and all that. You should be able to milk this crap till you were 70.
Exactly. Some people just like that attention, though. That's the thing. They live for that. Like, I don't understand. Another thing I don't understand is like how there's actors and athletes that are broke. I mean, they're making millions of dollars per year per
They get
gig.
all their buddies, they get their entourages, they get all this crap, and they think the money's just going to keep on coming. And then their ACL pops, and they're like, "Holy shit!"
Dumbest story ever was Michael Vick. Right when he got caught for all the dog stuff, he was pretty much come out that he was broke. Turns out he signed that $100 million contract, but then he went and got money from banks.
Yeah, he wanted more
Based on-
money. He didn't want just
he-
that.
It's because he didn't have the money in hand right then, so he went to the bank and said, "Hey, look, here's how much I'm going to make. Give me this kind of loan." And
Yeah.
banks were just giving him millions of dollars of loans.
And you know what's bad is there's so many people that do that on a small scale.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, save your money. I mean, you don't have to have it right now.
Well, like for a little while after all the stuff that was going on in the financial world, they started tightening up requirements on loans and getting credit cards. And
Oh,
all
you
that
hear
stuff.
They're trying to loosen it now? There's a
It's
about it
loosening
today.
up hardcore, dude. I can't tell you
this
how
is
many
so
freaking
damn stupid.
dude. I'm getting stuff in the mail where they're offering me like $10,000 loans. Like, all you got to do is just apply online. It takes 5 minutes and you're approved. Like, what the hell? And I'm like looking it up. Is this legit? And I'm like, it's fucking legit. What the hell?
Yeah,
And people will jump on that shit.
They will. 'cause-
Here's your interest rate, 30%.
That's if
I
you're,
wonder why.
that's if you're lucky.
I wonder why I can't get a 30% interest rate. I mean, shit. Give me 30%. Shit.
Dude, seriously. But it's a I love the U.S. of A. But we're in a world where everybody needs everything now.
Oh man,
Oh,
it's
man,
just
it's
going to. I mean, it's just been the past 2008. I mean, it's just gone to shit since then.
Well, I saw somebody when when I first joined, y'all were talking about the video of the two chicks fighting and the girl hitting the other one in the head with a shovel.
Oh,
That was up here earlier, yeah.
I think
Just
I missed
find
that part.
that video. Yeah, just find that video and watch the whole video. It shows you exactly why we're going down this shithole. Teenage kids, they were chatting it up, being best buds, and then they got in a fight over a boy. And they planned the fight and everything to two chicks. And then just one of them gets mad and clocks the other one in the head with a shovel.
Crazy, man.
It's
Terrible.
But yeah, it's just and there's a thing that's like, is it really the world is getting worse or it's being televised more?
Yeah, I think we're just more. I think
But
it's
the
a
pro-
combination of both. We're more.
Well, the thing is, I think it being televised makes it grow. If they
Yeah.
had televised all this crap that was, this crap was happening already, But now you put on TV, it's like, oh, everybody's getting this idea. Oh, this is the norm. This is
It does kind of encourage you a little bit. It's like, oh, I get my 10 seconds of fame, so yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard on VGO? John's been going off on rants. The past few episodes, he brought it up here and there about like one of his biggest pet peeves, like how he'll be in a supermarket or and people are. He sees people with food stamps and they're buying all this junk food, but then they whip out like the iPhone. I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not that guy that's gonna judge people, but there's definitely mixed priorities because I can't people that, they'll go to a government building, they're collecting, child support,
and they're driving a nice car.
Yeah, and they're driving a super nice car. They have the latest sneakers, but then their house is a shithole.
Their phone's paid for by the government.
Yep, yeah. Mama phone.
Yep. And they take those food stamps and sell them.
But here's the thing, though. You know what? John's got a perfect right to be judgmental because it's part of his money that's paying for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go in there and I can be judgmental as can be because you know what? I've paid a lot of taxes. So if I see somebody, just buying a lobster with food stamps, yeah. I get a little pissed off about it.
Walk up to them and take their plate of lobster and take it back to your table.
Yeah, exactly. That's mine. I paid for it.
Yep. Go to Long John Silver's.
Hey, I'd almost take that more than lobster, but that's just me. I love me some Long John.
One of the funniest things I ever saw was I drove a friend to DFAX, and I'm waiting outside in the car, and this girl before she walks in, because obviously she's going to apply for public assistance or something, she takes off her weave, she takes off her fake nails, puts on his scrubby, crappy clothes, and then goes inside to look like she's really suffering.
As bad off as she possibly can be.
I'd had to pick my jaw up off the floor.
Dude, and I can't make up something that good. That literally happened. I'm like, did that just really happen? It did. I couldn't believe it.
But yeah, the thing, they talk about poverty in the United States and all. My God, people have it so good here compared to the rest of the world. The most impoverished person here could go over to another country, a third world country somewhere, and they'd say, "Oh my God, you have this, 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 this." It's ridiculous. It makes you feel bad for the people that really are bad off, that you can't tell if they're bad off or not. Because I wouldn't mind helping somebody that's bad off. But the thing is, you don't know. They do what you just said, Yogi. It's like...
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the problem. I believe in public assistance, but the problem is it's not available to the people that really need it. It's the people. A lot of people that are getting it are the people that
work it.
That work it. Yep. They game the system, and then it makes it so that the people that really need it or someone that hits some tough times, can't get it, and that's what's messed up.
Oh. But the bad part is it's so many that do. It's like the person that's bad off is the exception, not the rule.
Yeah. Like I don't like generalizing, but I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of people that get it, that kind of stuff, usually have no plans to become self-sufficient, no ambition. They just want to be able to use their money as play money and then have their bills paid by someone else.
Yeah.
But let me not get all political on y'all.
Yeah, but it's bad. Yeah, it's like I'll hear in chat, people just start bashing me for making generalizations. And it's like, no, I mean, if there weren't so many people gaming the crap, I wouldn't be that upset about it. But you got a lot of jackasses out there. Who do it?
And where I'm at in Augusta, I'm actually surprised at how many Mexicans there are that are here illegally. Don't speak a lick of English.
Let's say that's another thing. It's like, well, you're just racist for saying. No, they came in here illegally. They did. There is a law against that.
Well, see, and that's the thing. I mean,
there's like 20 people shacked up in this apartment, and they got nice cars, and the community we're in, there's only supposed to be like 2 cars per unit per house,
Right.
But they got like 5 cars, But they're all shacked up in there to split up the cost of the rent, and then they're pocketing all that extra money, saving it, and sending it back to Mexico, whatever they're doing, and then they're not paying taxes on it either. That's that's kind of a slap in the face. Then meanwhile, the rest of us are struggling.
Yep. Oh, and probably they'll be able to go to the hospital for free.
Oh,
be
yeah.
able to put their kids in school for free because their kids are born in the United States.
Yep.
They came over here illegally, so their kids are here, but they're legal, so they can go to school and leech
Dude,
off
they got
tax
tons of clinics here for minorities, but they won't see someone that's not a minority. And I'm like,
That's right.
Kind of jacked
And
up.
then we go through the government, where the government tries to make it a big ordeal about immigration. Just make everybody pay taxes, equal across the board. Pay everybody pay taxes, and whether they want to become a legal citizens or not is their deal. As long as they pay taxes.
Yeah,
Well,
but the thing is, when does it stop? Do they become voters? Do all their children become voters? I mean, that's things to think about.
Well, there's another
That'd be-
simple thing. I don't understand why we don't have a true progressive tax. The people that can afford to pay more taxes, they're clearly they're not going to be suffering if they pay more taxes. Why don't they?
Well, here's the way all that works. Income taxes are based on, like say you've got a normal job and you pay your W-2 and you've got all that stuff. But a lot of the really, really rich people,
Tax shelters.
Well, no. The really, really rich people, they make their money off of, say, dividends and things, from their stocks and all. They get more. They're not taxed on the same rate as everything else is.
Yep.
And what you encounter is, if you do put a bunch of taxes on that kind of thing, less people are going to put money into the stock market, which builds this big bubble here. So they say, well, you know what? It'll hurt the economy if people don't invest, though. So it's a catch-22 on that. But what ends up happening is, if the rich person doesn't have a day job, they don't pay a ton of taxes, but they still be making a ton of money. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, and I know liquidity is a big part of it. There's people that are worth a lot of money, but they don't have a lot of cash because they invest it. And that's maybe the ventures or the investments are not fully vested. So I get all that, but it's just, I know some people that are way better, much better well off than I am, and people that are literally rich, and they complain is like, oh, we shouldn't pay more taxes. It's good the way it is.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's almost like a war within a war, because they're not really articulating the whole thing. There are rich people that don't make money like some rich people do. There are some rich people that actually do have their own little businesses and all, and they do have to pay a shit ton of taxes on them because their tax bracket's so high.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the other group of rich people that are making money off of dividends. So when you say the rich people, it puts like everybody in this one big pot.
Oh yeah, and
well, not all of them are, breaking the tax laws and all. You got some of them that, well, all of them are not breaking the tax laws.
I mean the guys that have the cash flow. That's what I'm referring to. Because obviously it wouldn't be fair if you have all these investments and then paying cash on those investments when you don't have that amount of cash on you. That'd be retarded. I totally get that. Trust me.
Yeah, but it's like when I watch the news, it's like there's some people that, do you really want to tax them 60% of everything they make if they got a small business? I think it's a little much. I think if you're in New York State and New York City, I think you get robbed. I think if you make over a certain income level there, they just totally rape you.
Oh, yeah, I've been there before. Trust me. As a small business, or if you're self-employed, when you're self-employed, you're paying taxes of an employer and an employee at the same time. You're getting taxed on both ends, and it sucks ass. And then Obama, in all his brilliance, decided to do the Affordable Health Care Act, which is actually the not so affordable Health Care Act.
I tell you one thing, though, and I've seen this, a lot of people on Facebook and all that, you think, they're pretty much Democrat and all. Ooh, they hate this mess. It's funny, when somebody gets hit in the pocketbook and all that, all of a sudden their attitudes change a hell of a lot. oh man, we're getting screwed. It's like, yeah, we told you were gonna get screwed.
And you know what? I really don't feel like it. People should give up with the whole two-party system. They should just focus on platforms and issues.
Hey, I was told. I mean, I was a kid at the time, but I mean, Ross Perot. I would have loved if he had become president because I mean, he was total economics. You know, he went for common sense stuff. It wasn't, like the two-party thing. I think he would have run the U.S. like a real business.
Yeah, the problem is that we've been indoctrinated into this format of the two-party system for years now, and anybody who truly cares about politics has been fooled into this illusion that, your party really gives a crap about you.
No, none of them do. It's the lesser of two evils.
Exactly. You just pick the lesser of two evils for your personality, your perspective, and you're still getting screwed by either one.
Oh yeah.
It's a sporting
I consider
event.
myself conservative Republican, but I don't really care for the Republican Party right now.
Yeah.
It's a sporting event because it's just if it comes down to it, you have to identify with one side or the other. You can't be in the middle of the ground.
But I did love though, the whole Obamacare when it was going on. It was like, yeah, we want to work with you or something like that. Oh, by the way, we got 60 people in the Senate now. Let's ramrod this damn thing. So it was like all Democrats that voted for it. So you had no input. Nobody gave a damn on the other side. It was like, screw you people. And then they come out like, they don't want to work with us. Really? You just rammed through the biggest piece of legislation not a soul agreed with, and now you want to be friends. Yeah, okay.
The tagline of that whole ordeal was when they were sitting on the steps of Congress, and Pelosi says, "Well, it's 100-something page or 500-something pages. You'll have to see the bill when we pass it."
Yeah, it's like, go ahead, have to pass it to know what's in it.
What?
Nobody read it. She just ran around with that big-ass gavel that was bigger than she was.
What that
big ass of herself. Like she
did, not the whole entire public of the United States raise their hand there and say, no, I don't think that's how things should work.
Oh, when they found out they had that majority, they just ran with it. They didn't even read it themselves. They were like, shit, let's just do this. We got an opening. Let's just screw them all. And they did that. It was ridiculous.
But if that's the problem if Jesus himself came down from the sky and ran as an independent, both parties would bury him and he wouldn't get elected.
If Jesus came down from the sky, they would consider him a crazy person and throw him in the loony bin.
Well, that's kind of what happened the first time around.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
He's already been through this.
I don't know how religious you guys might be.
That's why he never comes back. He saw what happened last time. It's like, oh, damn, it's not going to get any better. Okay.
I don't blame him. He was like, screw you guys, I'm going home.
I'm going home.
I don't mean to blaspheme, but I mean, come on. Even the Romans sympathized more with him than the Jews did. That's some messed up shit. It's like, I'm your homie. Come on. It's like, no, screw you. And the Romans were like, wait, aren't you guys being a little heavy-handed? I mean, the Romans, freaking conquerors of land, and they felt bad.
Oh, yeah.
These other gods.
Put their people in, 15 years of servitude to work for them and all that.
It's just, stuff like that just cracks me up, It'd be like Jason from, Friday the 13th having a guilty conscience. Like, well, I kind of feel bad about this. I think we've gone too far. I think I've gone too far.
You just made me want to watch that movie. I want to see a Jason movie where he has a conscience change halfway through the movie.
Yeah, after he freezes the person's face.
I've too many people here.
After he freezes the person's face, after that he kind of stops and drops his head like, I shouldn't have done that.
He's like, you know what? I think my mom was satisfied if I had just killed all those counselors from the 70s. I don't think I needed to kill everybody in the 90s, too.
The whole second half of the movie is him feeding the homeless.
And why the hell am I in space? What the hell? How did I get here?
Hey, look, teenagers. Kill.
Horny teenagers.
Gotta kill them.
Jason joins the support group. He shares his feelings.
With Freddy. It's like, yeah, you know what? I've killed all of them. They're children's children and all that. I think I'm good. I don't think I need any more.
Bloodlust. Ran out of bloodlust.
I don't think I need to get the ones that moved from out of state that didn't set me on fire. You know, I think I'm good.
Man, that whole series, I enjoyed all of them, as silly as they were. But they had like they never really had an origin story like firmed up for him. First he's
well, they
human.
could. Are you talking about Freddy?
No, Jason. I'm still thinking about Jason. No, Freddy. I think Freddy was pretty consistent.
Yeah, the thing about Freddy though is they couldn't say he was a child molester. They had to.
They danced around it.
Did what?
They danced around the issue.
Yeah, they danced all around it. It was like, was he or what? Well, you know, if they wanted to keep it like a comedy throughout the other ones, they couldn't very well. You know, I think they would have pushed it too far with that, at least at the time.
Yeah, what was it? The most recent one that was redone? Wouldn't he just?
And the most recent one, they did flat out say he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they went for a darker thing. Because actually, what's his name? Robert Englund. He enjoyed the role, but he didn't like the darkness as much. That's why part one is like, you know, by most counts considered the scariest and the most serious.
Part two, I think, was dark too. I think part three kind of went a little further.
But part two didn't even feel like it was canon, you know?
No.
Because it was kind of like a spin-off, you know, someone else becomes
I
Freddy.
consider it a dark movie. It was a dark gay movie because he was gay, but it was still a dark movie. I consider it that.
Dark homoeroticism. That's gotta be
dark homo.
That's gotta be a genre already. I'm sure that's a thing.
Yeah. It's like the whole zombie thing we were talking about earlier. You know, where would you classify this film? Yeah. It'd be funny if I was looking at my Netflix queue and it says dark gay whatever movies and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
Now I want to watch that series too. There's a whole lot of movies too, especially if you count Freddy vs. Jason and the new Nightmare movies.
They made that one new Nightmare movie with Heather Langenkamp in it with her little white streak.
They had like a couple of those, didn't they?
No, they only made one. It was Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that was the one where it was a movie within a movie, right?
Yep. Freddy's real.
Metafiction in action right there.
They actually had Robert Englund. He was like Heather Langenkamp's best bud. It's like, what are you talking about, Freddy? And he's like making a painting of Freddy in his house. I haven't had any dreams where I've seen Freddy.
I think that was a cool movie. Actually, I think it was a very bold kind of thing to do.
Yeah, but it was part of that time period where horror movies weren't horror movies. Like Scream, you know, it was like a parody of horror movies. They had like I Know What You Did Last Summer, all that shit. I did not like that period of time in horror fiction.
Yeah, it was all tongue in cheek.
Yeah, but you know, they had a little value for the first movies that come out of the series, but like the Scream 2s, 3s, and every other chain, I Know What You Did Last, all those just really just ran.
And then finally you got movies like Cabin Fever and Saw, and it kind of brought it back.
I don't care for Saw to this day. It's just too demented.
The thing about me, I feel sure if you listen to some of the old me and Ted episodes, I mean, we used to talk about Saw and the fact that, you know, Jigsaw wasn't that bad a dude. You know, it's like all of his disciples were the most horrible ones.
He was just trying to teach a moral lesson.
He was trying to just teach him a lesson. He gave him he always had him a way out. You know, they could always survive what it was.
Amanda was just straight evil. Amanda?
Yeah, they just randomly plucked up people and said, "Okay, you know what? You did this. Okay, I'm killing you now."
You can't. We're gonna play a game, but you can't win. Sorry.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah, you're talking about the spooky horror. I can't even remember the name. Spooky horror.
Hour show.
Horror hour. Right? Spooky hour. Horror hour. I can never get that name right.
Cool Sausage and Rachel and Ted.
Good times. Before Ted quit.
Cool sausage.
I'm plugging it because I am streaming it. So if someone watches watches on video or recording, they have a frame of reference.
They can listen to like 180 hours of Shupatodes, or however you want to call them. Shupasodes.
I'm pretty sure they'll get into the political part we just had and drop her off.
Yeah. I usually try to avoid that in any content. Like there's 3 taboos of communication: it's religion, politics, and sports. If you want to get people pissed off and riled off,
And say the things I talk about most are politics and sports. So pretty much gets everybody.
is that why you're not doing any real podcasting now?
Well, no. I mean, I always wanted to stay on topic when we had show going on, but everybody else just kind of went off the beaten path. It was like, okay.
Guess what? I want to start doing some YouTube videos of. I want to put out comedic content. I want to do entertaining stuff like just this banter. There's a couple ideas I had. Just to really do something different. I even thought about doing sports commentary over Madden.
Oh God!
I don't know how copyright. You just mock up a game, let it play out, and then you do commentary over it. I wonder how off-put crazy I can get with that.
There'd probably be people dumb enough to watch that for a while.
Oh, there's people all over the internet dumb enough to watch shit.
It's like, would you rather watch archives of real sporting events than watch a simulated Madden match?
So yeah, you could do that. Get a room full of people, and then like do commentary over someone else's gameplays. Obviously, you get permission from them first, and it could be like Mystery Science Theater for gamers.
Oh, there you go. See?
Yeah, you got a niche right there. No one's doing that.
No. YouTube amazes me, the amount of content people put out.
And most of it's the same.
Oh, yeah, there's so many freaking stupid... the Call of Duty games and stuff like that.
I tell you what, though, there are people making money off of that crap.
Oh, yeah, the good, like, the established guys, man, yeah, they make a killing.
Yeah.
You make well enough where you don't have to technically have a real job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well...
They just get taxed to the hilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's ways around that, too. But,
Well, true, their entire lives can be a business expense.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because their work and their play are one and the same. So there's so many write-offs. It's just filing those Schedule C's and all that crap, itemizing all that. Good luck.
Yep.
It's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. But they don't have anything else better to do all day, so...
It's viable. I mean, it's one of my income sources. Not the only thing I do, because with the people that are established now are the people that got in on the ground level. Not necessarily the best people at what they do. They just got in at when the timing was right. That's the way it is everything else.
Where's your site and YouTube stuff?
Oh, it's just YogiZilla, like everything else.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/YogiZilla. And then I got a new channel up, Geeky Antics, where we're doing basically just syndicating other people's content, and we got shows on there, and we're gonna get different kind of themes, like different daily themes and themed shows, stuff like that. Try to get
the question is, are you doing better than all games right now? That would
All
be
games don't put up any content like that. All games
we're on record
articles
now.
and reviews.
Hey, I'm
podcasts.
part of all games, so you know, like I talked to Derek H about it. He said, "Are you trying to you're trying to recreate all games?" Like, no, I'm doing something different. You know, it's similar on the face, but it's different. Like,
Derek's
you know,
gonna
all
get
games is
tested.
very selective about the content, and I put shit content up, so there's a difference.
I give Derek a hard time a lot because he's easy. You can pretty much just bait him into any discussion, so
Yeah.
that's kind of fun.
if he's paying attention. Oh, I know, dude. I know how you roll.
I mean, it doesn't take much.
But if he's paying
Pushing the
attention, because his attention is split so many different ways. It's so crazy. Like I had to get him. I had to like badger him to get the schedule updated on the site. Because like we got the blog up there. We're one of the few people that contributed to the site on the blog side on allgames.com, and then you know we had 5 weeks worth of shows put up there streaming. You know, but we weren't on the schedule. I'm like, what's up with that? It's a simple like edit, you know. But no, you know, I'm like honestly not because it's on record, but I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I just saw an opportunity. Like, there's a lot of barriers to entry in a lot of networks, and Like all games are supposed to be what gamers talk about, but they're not willing to kind of go it beyond the scope of gaming. Besides, the horror, the rare stuff like the anime and horror stuff. But I want to get into some other things like talking about marketing. Because there are tangents there. I mean, not just gaming. We're not doing just gaming. It's just kind of geek culture as a whole.
But one thing All Games is missing, All Games doesn't really put any content out or have any content being developed for them with video game, content other than podcasts.
Well, if Derek is listening, me being like really old school All Games, I'm talking like 1996, 97, so I know a little of what I speak. The thing that made All Games really good back in the day was you had Scott Rubin, and he did a live daily video show, and it had good production. Yeah. That's why people went to allgames.com.
Yeah, you guys need that. We need that flagship interactive show. That's kind of what we're doing at Geeky Antics. We have the Horseplay Live show, and we're trying to focus on interactivity. Right now, we can't do daily, but that's one of the plans that's one of the things definitely in the pipeline, because you need that kind of like people just hanging out, no script, just people call in, talk about whatever.
Well,
that's how you build a community.
Do you remember Tech TV?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I used to watch the screensavers every day. It was like 2 or 3 hours. It was live TV. You had people talking about, the topic of the day, and all that kind of thing. Yeah. I used to just watch it, and what was weird about that show was you actually learned something when you watched it.
Yeah, screensavers was good.
It was almost like it was like PBS, but enjoyable. I don't quite, can't explain it properly. But
Tech TV, that's going way back. That's Tech TV before it became
right.
Before TV, yeah.
But I used to watch that every day. I mean, it was like you could watch Game Time on All Games, and you could watch that afterwards. It was like I'd have like live TV. I was watching anything.
Can we get him to come join one of the networks?
Hey, I'd love to have Adam Sosler on it. You know what really makes me mad is he left that Rev 3 Games. I mean, he was putting out content all the time, and I would go online, just type in Sessler and put update this week, just to see what he'd put up every week. Because he had the Sessler
amazing job of talking to gamers on an adult level, where you could follow him.
I didn't agree with him 100% of the time, but still, I enjoyed his point of view on things. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think that's important, having that interaction and getting the community involved. It's really hard. The thing is that it's a delicate balance between making something that's fun and creates value for the community, but then making sure it's sustainable. Because it's really easy when you're doing this stuff to like really bite off more than you can chew, and then be like, I can't keep this up. And that's a bad place to be as well, because you develop, even though, you're doing it because you love it, eventually you get to a place where it feels like work, you're not enjoying it anymore, but you feel like you have a responsibility to your audience.
All right.
And I've been there lots of times, and I know people that have gotten there, it's like, they just shut down completely. Like, they don't even scale back, they just shut down. I'm done. Like Derek did with Dead Pixel Live, which, by the way, is still on the top. I saw it in the top few podcasts. It's at a very I think it was top 20 or 30 for video games when you look at Stitcher at least.
Right.
And there's no new content coming out for it. So it's a shame, because that's a brand that he should do something with. Like he should have.
I'm kind of curious if it's getting a lot just based on maybe that's a search people do that, and they just happen to find him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Dead Pixel is something.
There's definitely some SEO in play there. But I think his Derek's shtick with the whole grumpy old man.
Grumpy, yeah.
It's a good
mean lady. It's like he's got his own cast of characters.
Mean lady, yeah, mean lady's great. He's got, I think he should have someone else take over that show, and he comes on, here and there, so he doesn't burn out on it, and keep that going. I think he should. That's what all games need, is that they need to have that stability, that core, You know, you got Knuckleballer and ZombieCast. I don't think they're going anywhere. Video game outsiders, I don't see them going anywhere unless
No.
John becomes a prima donna and decides to just be his own little universe.
Which I
Which
mean,
is
would
very
anybody
possible.
really care if John went off in his own little universe and Michelle and Matt just did their own show?
I mean, John, you know,
Everybody
everybody has the same feeling about John.
Hey, I'll
He is
say it.
just-
If you don't want to say it, I'll say it.
He's
No,
a
I'll say it.
cantankerous.
Go ahead, Lance.
He's just a cantankerous, you know, bitter 40-something-year-old guy who thinks his opinion takes precedent over
Which
everybody
really
else.
doesn't mean shit.
You know?
He is
But-
getting better. I think he's actually heeding some of the feedback because remember for a little while there, it was like he was trying to separate himself from the community and just be his own man, and there was no engagement, no interaction. I think he's shouting out people more. He's getting out more guests, doing more call-ins.
Oh.
I think he's getting.
Well-
I think he had his ego put in check. He's a good guy, but I
There's-
think he forgot where he came from. And that happens a lot. Like, just look at Chris
He's a-
Hardwick. I think Chris Hardwick is the biggest douche in the geek culture. Everything he does is about him. It's an old self-promotion platform.
Hey, you gotta milk it while you can. I mean,
Well, I
he's
mean,
got that
there's
whole
value to
Talking
that
Dead thing.
caricature.
He's gonna run with it.
Yeah, there's value to that caricature of, you know, being the grumpy, you know, listen to me kind of thing. It's as long as you don't overcook it, and there's times he's been overcooking it.
Speaking of radio, it's a little off topic. During the NFL draft, I was listening to a Sports Talk radio station, and there was this one guy. I think his name was Pharrell. I don't know if you ever heard of him. This dude has a hey, how you doing? He says he's gonna have lung cancer. And this,
Kicking
I
out
mean, yeah,
cigarettes
his
and-
opinion means everything. It's like, and the 12th caller today is gonna get a big box of nothing. I'm giving away a box of nothing. and I mean, it's like people would call in. Yeah, he would just give his opinion. That's what I think. Yeah. Almost sounds like Sling Blade there for a second. But it's ridiculous. Yeah, he's got that whole, cantankerous, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, they had a shitty draft. They ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that serves his purpose too. I'm sure people, if he does call-ins or whatever.
He does, but it just got to the point, it was just annoying. I was listening to him, I was like, my God, people actually listen to this? I mean, Jim Rome's kind of cocky, but I actually kind of like watching his show. This guy just friggin' annoying.
You're expecting to hear about 3 coughs and a slammed head to the desk as he
Yeah,
dies.
pretty much.
Jim Rome is another character for sure. Rome is burning. He puts his name in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't get more pompous than that.
Speaking of sports people, though, I do enjoy the ESPN First Take, though. Do y'all ever watch that?
Oh, they've completely built their characters on that show.
I love that show.
Is that the one where they have like the split screen and they have like the immediate reactions to shit that just popped up?
No,
No.
I think that's Pardon the Interruption or something like that.
That's part of the interruption. I like that too.
Now, this is like the morning show, and it's got Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless on there, and they just debate a few topics that day, whatever happened.
You lost me. You lost me in the morning.
Yes.
Well, they
basically.
they put the clips on YouTube, and they put the clips on the ESPN app on Xbox, so you can still watch
Yeah.
them.
I haven't watched
Basically,
that
what
in
you
a
have
while.
is you have a moderator. You have a moderator sitting in between them. He'll name a topic and get the conversation started off. You have the cool, edgy, or you have the cool guy in Stephen A. Smith, and then you have the curmudgeon, everything's bad, buttoned up other guy, and he's basically like Darth Vader in the whole conversation. Everybody hates him.
Oh, I've seen it. Yep, I've seen
I
it.
love him. Where you talking?
It's like
He had
knuckleballer for
he had
for
the Tim
sports.
Tebow song. You know what the Tim Tebow song is?
No.
I gotta pull this up.
Oh God. I'm scared for my life.
The TiVo song. Let me see.
Speaking of communities, what kind of community? How many subscribers are listening to the Knuckleball and ZombieCast every week?
I don't know.
Seems like a lot. I mean,
Yeah, they're doing big things right there.
Freeman's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And it's good stuff. I love Freeman stuff.
No, he's definitely, he's built something.
It's because Sean,
Yeah,
he
this
knows
is
how
the
to spread the love. That's the thing. He's the anti-Chris Hardwick.
this is the first thing that plays when you look at the ESPN first take. The Skip Bayless loved Tim Tebow.
Tim's writing something. He's still talking about GTA.
Oh God, all he does is win.
All he does is win. All he does is win. It's catchy as hell.
Some talented editor on ESPN.
Or how he hits that guy. Where's the damn thing where I can look at the read more? Maybe that's it. No, it's just this first take. I want to look at the. He's got 5 million hits. Yeah, 5.3 million hits.
Who?
With his ESPN First Take.
Yeah, I love First Take's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen this. But doesn't the black guy in here usually wear glasses?
Yeah, he wears them sometimes.